5. The manticore. The desert wind carries more than sand. It can bring whispers of forgotten lore, tales of a hunter's moon and a lion's eye glowing in the night. They say when it howls, hope dies. That's what the old men tell the children now, a warning to stay indoors with the last light of dusk. But once, the desert nights were filled with music, laughter, and light. At least that's what we've been told. Before the time of the manticore, no one knows exactly where the monster came from, only that it brought misery to every kingdom it stalked. It was called the manticore, or the man-eater, a demon beast that looked like a lion, but had the wings of an eagle and a man's face. Its eyes burned red, its claws dripped venom, and its breath carried a stench worse than death. It lived up high in the mountains where the wind sang its name across the peaks. Then it would swoop down into the villages, snatching a man from his sleep and carrying him back to its lair. No trace, no struggle, just a hollowed-out home and a family's prayers. One day, King Cambyses II sent out a plea for help, not to the gods, but to the beast. He offered the manticore everything it could want, treasures, slaves, and 7 maidens to call its own. But that wasn't enough. The monster demanded tribute of living men, 1 soul every full moon. When the king refused, the manticore raised its head and howled, and the earthquakes followed by fire rained from the sky. For 3 days, the city burned, turned to ash, and the king's heart grew cold. There was only one thing to do. When the beast came for its due, he'd agreed to pay. The next full moon, they led the manticore into a pit lined with silver coins, chests of gold, and the 7 maidens, all waiting to please it. But when the beast reached for the treasure, a net fell over it, trapping it inside. Then soldiers swarmed in and slew it piece by piece. They say its blood ran black and stank like death. Its heart beat with a drum's hollow sound. And when they cut open its chest, they found a human soul trapped inside. They buried it deep, then sealed the grave with stones and 7 locks, so the demon beast wouldn't rise again, and people breathed easy again under the hunter's moon, or so the story goes. 4. The Ammit, devourer of souls. Long ago, when the pharaohs walked among mortals, there was something even they feared, the great goddess Isis, for her magic was unrivaled. She could heal the sick and raise the dead. Her sister Nephthys, though, had a different gift. She could see the souls of men, and she saw that most of them were good. But there were a few who did evil things, who committed great sins and filled the world with suffering. And after they died, their souls were judged by the gods. If they were pure, they'd travel to the field of reeds, where the blessed afterlife awaited them. But if they were impure, they'd be swept away on a flood, cast into the darkness beyond the stars. And those lost souls became the food of the devourer. The Ammit didn't have a face. No one who saw it lived to tell the tale. It was massive, with the body of a crocodile, wings like a bat, and the hind legs of a lion. It lurked at the edge of the underworld, watching as souls were judged. If any were impure, it swooped down and ate them, bone and memory alike. There was only one way to escape its hunger, to live a life without sin, which was impossible. Or so everyone thought. For one man wasn't afraid. His name was Rahotep, son of Si-Amun and the greatest magician of his age. He knew about the Ammit, but he wasn't afraid. He stepped forward, raising his staff, and challenged the beast. "This monster, this eater of souls, is a disgrace to the Duat. You have no right to judge the dead." With a snap of his fingers, he made the ground shake, causing the Ammit to flinch. "This little game is over," he cried. "The souls are mine now." And he banished the monster to the farthest reaches of the underworld, where it still lurks in the darkness. Maybe Rahotep was a hero, or maybe he just wanted all the power for himself. What's left of his story is lost to time, but the people still remember the legend of the devoured souls and pray that the Ammit doesn't return. 3. The Camazotz, deathbat of the underworld. In the Maya long count calendar, the end of the world will come on December 21st, 2012. At least that's what the media told us, ignoring the fact that the Mayans never said anything about the apocalypse. In fact, their calendar just ran out of days, then started over again. But the story of the Mayans isn't just about numbers, it's also about their gods and monsters. One such creature was the Camazotz, a demon that flew through the night. It looked like a giant bat with wings like a vulture and fangs like sharpened knives. Wherever it flew, death followed. It was said to carry the souls of the dead to Xibalba, the underworld, and it was feared throughout the land. It wasn't an evil spirit, but it wasn't a good one either. It was just a herald of death, a grim reminder that life is fleeting and the afterlife awaits. To avoid its gaze, the Mayans built great pyramids and filled them with treasures, hoping that the Camazotz would mistake them for a mountain and fly over them. But sometimes they'd get too close and the bats would dive down, snatching sacrifices away. They'd leave behind only silence and feathers, and the villagers would pray that the Camazotz hadn't taken anyone they loved. The Maya believed that the Camazotz would eventually take them all, so they made sure to live their lives to the fullest, dancing wildly, feasting heavily, and never ignoring a good fight. They knew that when their time came, they'd go out with a bang, not a whimper. So they welcomed the Camazotz as guests, showing them the respect they deserved and hoping that they wouldn't linger too long. 2. The Typhoon. Before the Titans ruled the earth, there was a different race of gods, the primordial deities. They were older, vaster, and crueler than the Olympians you know. And one of them was the greatest monster of all, the father of monsters. They called him Typhon. He wasn't born in the usual way. He rose from the ground, fully grown, spewing fire and fury. Then he challenged the gods, threw lightning bolts, and shook the heavens. They tried to stop him, but nothing worked. So Zeus had an idea. He summoned all the strength of the cosmos and struck the Typhon with a bolt of lightning. It hit him in the middle of his back, right between his wings, and the monster collapsed, crumbling into pieces. But he was immortal. Even in death, he posed a threat. So Zeus did something drastic. He took Typhon's scattered limbs and scattered them across the earth, each piece becoming its own monster. Hydra, Cerberus, Chimera, all of them spawned from the dying breath of the typhoon. But before Zeus finished him off, Typhon let out one last roar. It echoed across the world, foretelling the coming doom, the return of the monster, and the destruction of Olympus. They say that prophecy is still waiting to unfold, that someday the typhoon will rise again, and when he does, only a hero with the heart of a god can stop him. 1. The Oni of the mountains. You might think that ogres live in fairy tales, but they used to strike fear into people's hearts. The Japanese folklore has creatures known as Oni, big, ugly demons with horns, sharp claws, and even sharper teeth. They lived in the mountains, preying on unsuspecting travelers and feasting on their flesh. Sometimes they'd kidnap young women to be their brides or children to be their playthings. And no one could stop them, not until a hero named Momotaro came along. Momotaro was a samurai, a legendary warrior who lived in the 1100s. He fought against rival clans, crushed rebellions, and saved the emperor. But his greatest challenge was the Oni of the mountains. They had stolen a magical peach from the emperor's garden and were using its power to grow stronger and uglier. Momotaro assembled a team of samurai and set off to find them. They tracked the Oni to their mountain lair, a place of jagged peaks and swirling mists. There they fought against the ugliest monsters of all, the Oni generals. Their weapons clashed, their armor cracked, and the smell of blood filled the air. But Momotaro and his men were too strong. They defeated the generals, slew the Oni, and reclaimed the peach. It was a hard-won victory, one that would be remembered for generations to come. But some say that the Oni aren't really gone. They're hiding in the mountains, waiting for a chance to strike back. And when they do, only a hero with the heart of a samurai can stop them. Well, that's all for now. But if you want to hear more tales of terrifying creatures and chilling legends, Then be sure to subscribe to our channel. Join the growing legion of monster hunters and Echoes viewers. Until next time, don't forget, some monsters are born of legend and others become one.